ॐ नमो नमः ॐ नमः ॐ नमो नमः अच्युताय नमः श्री अनन्ताय नमः अच्युताय नमः श्री अनन्ताय नमः सुन्दराय नमः सुरवन्दिताय नमः सुन्दराय नमः सुरवन्दिताय नमः माधवाय नमः मधुसूदनाय नमः प्रसीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। Let us chant from the beginning. कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम् कृतिमहो दधौ पतनकारणम् फलमशाश्वतं गतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितं नेच्छया कृतं चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकं कायवाङ्मनः कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईशधीयुक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभिर्देवपूजनम् उत्तमस्तवादुच्चमन्दतः चित्तजं जपध्यानमुत्तमम् आज्यधारया श्रोतसा समम् सरलचिन्तनं विरतः परम् भेदभावना सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिधा पावनीमता भावशून्यसद्भावसुस्थितिः भावनाबलात् भक्तिरुत्तमा हृत्स्थले मनः स्वस्थता क्रिया भक्तियोगबोधाश्च निश्चितम् वायुरोधनात् दीयते मनः जालपक्षिवरोधसाधनम् वायुरोधनात् दीयते मनः जालपक्षिवरोधसाधनम् जालपक्षिवरोधसाधनम्। Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, having pointed out the mistake that we do by performing action for the sake of the results, thus we bind ourselves with action. The psychological bondage is what we call as bondage in spirituality. How does it express itself? All weaknesses of the mind, miseries of the mind, they are all expression of this bondage. Tension, worry, anxiety, stress, addictions. So what is the way out? Karma yoga is the way out. Performing action as a worship of the Lord. What is the purpose of action? Purpose of action is only one: purification of mind. Why do we need purified mind? A purified mind alone can meditate and realize one's own self. Therefore, all sadhanas are meant for purification. Whether it is puja, whether it is japa, whether it is purification has to be done. Many times sadhana itself becomes the cause of impurity. I do so much of japa, more than you. That is also possible. You have to be very careful. Sadhana should not create ego in us. sometimes this holier than thou attitude comes. I want to show off others how much of japa I do, how much of tapas I do. So then what is, it is defeating the purpose then. So with such a purified mind, we should enter into dhyanam. So dhyanam is categorized into two, based on the quality. What are they? Virala chintanam, sarva chintanam. Interrupted meditation is called virala chintanam. Everybody started that one. But slowly, as you become mature in this path, slowly the meditation becomes steady, spontaneous, continuous, uninterrupted, intense, deep. And that is called as sarva chintanam. Then with respect to the altar of meditation, again we have two. What are the two? Bheda bhavana and abheda bhavana. In the initial stages, consider God as separate from you. Thus cultivate humility, cultivate devotion, cultivate surrender, cultivate discipline, cultivate the qualities of trust, obedience. And then slowly as the mind becomes pure, you come to know this God whom I am worshipping is not somebody different from me, it is my own higher self. So then, from dasoha meditation, you transcend into soha meditation. That's how it should go. Earlier I say, I am not God, I am a servant of God. And finally you come to know that God is me, myself, my own higher self. I am God. Aham Brahma Asmi. That happens by the grace of God in a pure mind. So what is the nature of this highest state? Bhava shunya sad bhava susthiti. Firm abidance in one's own self, which is of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. That abidance itself is called devotion. Hridsthale manasvasthata. Bhakti yoga bodhascha nishchita. All the paths in spirituality, whether it is bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, hatha yoga, whatever yoga may be, the purpose is only one: firm abidance in the heart space, firm abidance in consciousness, in a state of being. All those things are same. Now, what is the role of pranayama? Pranayama is very useful. Vayurodhanat liyate manah jala pakshivat rodhasadhanam. When breathing is made slow and steady, mind also becomes quiet. So therefore, definitely it is very helpful. First you quieten the mind, and then with a quiet mind you do the higher sadhanas. It's very useful. But here Bhagavan is taking up this topic because many people get stuck up here. See, when there is no proper guidance, so many ways we get stuck up. So the moment the mind is peaceful, they think this is the way, and therefore they dedicate their life only for pranayama. Whenever the prana is controlled, mind is peaceful. That peaceful mind is a great joy. It becomes a trap. And they think, okay, little pranayama has given little peace. Therefore, let me devote my life in pranayama only. These are all different. So that's why this guidance is very important. Bhagavan says, Jamala Pakshivat means what? As long as the net is there, birds appear to be silent. The moment you remove the net, remember the bird is not dead. It is helpless, therefore it is silent. The moment you remove the net, the bird flies away. In the same way, as long as you have controlled the mind with prana, through pranayama, mind appears to be silent, tamed, conquered, but throughout your life you can't do pranayama. The moment you stop it, again it comes back. So this example has two purposes. Number one, pranayama is useful. Number two, don't get stuck in pranayama alone. Only by pranayama you can't achieve the spiritual highest state. No. Then what is the use of bhakti yoga, japa yoga and all that? Only pranayama is enough. So Jala Pakshila, that example is very important. Now the question is, what is the relationship between mind and prana? How is it that when breathing is controlled, mind gets controlled? What is the connection? So that is beautifully mentioned in the next verse. Let us chant verse number 12. Chittavayava chikriyayutaha shakhayodvayi shakti mulaka laya vinashane ubhayarodhane Layagatam punar bhavati no mritam pranabandhana lina manasam eka chintanat nashametyadaha नष्टमानसो कृष्टयोगिनः कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्थितिं यतः कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्थितिं यतः Yes. Vayurodhanat liyate manah. When the prana, when the breathing is made slow and steady, mind becomes quiet. That means there is a relationship between these two. What is that relationship? Chitta vayavaha chit kriya yutaha. Chitta vayavaha. Chitta means mind. Vayavaha means prana, breathing. These two, ayutaha, they are endowed with. What is that power they are endowed with? Chit kriya. Shakhayodvayi, they are the two branches. Shakti mulaka, and the source, moolam, root is Shakti or Maya. So, Maya has got two branches, Shakha. What are the two branches? Vayu and Chitta. Mind and Prana. So, Maya has got two branches. What are the two branches? Mind and Prana. Mind is endowed with Chit. So here it means Jnana Shakti and Ichha Shakti. Mind is endowed with two Shakti. Maya Shakti has two branches. Jnana Shakti and Ichha Shakti belongs to the mind. Kriya Shakti belongs to the prana. So how many Shakti Maya has? Three. Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Ichha Shakti. First I know, then I desire, then I do. Know, that is Jnana Shakti. Desire, that is Ichha Shakti. Then I do, perform action. That is Kriya Shakti. Isn't it? That's how we are. All of our life is nothing but these three Shakti only. Know, Desire, do. That is Maya Shakti. Now, knowing and desiring belongs to the mind, doing belongs to the prana. Now the point here is, they are the two branches. Now, in our village, etc., we find, there is a mango. That mango is little high, you can't reach. But there is another branch which you can reach. So what do? Pull the lower branch so that the higher branch also comes down and then you plug the mango. Correct? That is what is being mentioned here. The lower branch, which is the lower branch? Prana, something which can be easily controlled. Controlling the mind is difficult, controlling prana is easy. Because mind is subtle, prana is gross. Gross can be easily controlled, subtle is difficult. Controlling hands and legs, easy. Controlling the mind, difficult. So, through the gross, control the subtle. Breathing, easily controllable. Mind, very difficult. So then what do? Through breathing, control the mind. Because there are two branches, they are connected. This is a connection. Now Bhagavan says, the quietude which you gain through pranayama will not stay long. It is only temporary. Laya vinashane ubhaya rodhane. There are two ways of quietening the mind. What are the two ways? Laya and vinasha. Manolaya and manonasha. Laya vinashane. How do you attain manolaya? Through breathing. When the breathing is slow and steady, mind becomes quiet. That quietude is called manolaya. But now later on Bhagavan is going to say self-inquiry, which we have seen morning, that will lead to manonasha, destruction of the mind. So dissolution of the mind, destruction of the mind. Manolaya, manonasha. Now what is Bhagavan saying? Layagatam punaha bhavati. That which dissolves the mind. Layam. Manolayam is not manonasha. Two different. Both are different. That mind which is just dissolved will come back. The moment you stop pranayama, mind will again be agitated, disturbed, or that, extroverted. But nahu mrutam, dead mind will not come back. So which you mean to say we have to kill our mind? Yeah. Kill your mind. Now what is that killing? We will see later. Anyway, morning also we have discussed all this. How many of you did not come in the morning? Too early. Oh. So you were all in layavastha. Sleep also is called laya. So, what is Bhagavan saying? There are two ways of silencing the mind. One is laya, vinasha. Laya gadam punaha bhavati. Manolaya. It is not dead, it is like a bird in the net. It will fly again once the net is gone. But once the mind is destroyed, it doesn't come back. So next question is how to destroy this mind. Pranabandhanat leena manasam. With control of birth and control of breath, mind becomes quiet. Eka chintanat nashaniti. That mind becomes destroyed, permanently silenced with eka chintana, with meditating upon that one. From 15 to 22, 15 to 21, we have discussed 3 classes in the morning. Meditation based on Upadesha Sara. Briefly I will tell you what it is. Let us first chant. Drishyavaritam चित्तमात्मनः चित्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनं मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विध्यहं मनः अहमयं कुतो भवति चिन्वतः ऐपतत्यहं निजविचारणम् अहमिनाशभाजहमहन्तया स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णस इदमहं पदाभिख्यमन्वहम् अहमिलीनकेऽप्यलयसत्तया अहमिलीनकेऽप्यलयसत्तया Yes. So there are two ways of quietening the mind. Number one, manolaya. Number two, manonasha. Dissolving the mind, destroying the mind. Now Bhagavan says, dissolving alone will not do through pranayama, because it will again come back. As long as you are doing pranayama, mind is quiet. After that again the mind will be disturbed. It is in a way suppression. Pranayama leads to suppression. What is needed is sublimation. What is needed is sublimation. Sublimation means what? Once it is silent, it should be permanently silent. That is called as manonasha. How to do it? Ekachintanat. Meditate on that one. If you can do that, nashtamanasotkrushta yoginah krityamasti kim swasthitim yatah. For such a yogi, utkrishta yogi, who can do this, such a yogi is called a utkrishta yogi. For him, there is nothing for him to attain in this world. He has attained the purpose of life. Now the question is how to do it. So what is the way? Verse number 16. Drishyavaritam chittamatmanah chittvadarsanam tattvadarsanam. So at the seat of meditation, you will see two entities. One is consciousness, the other is thoughts. Consciousness represents God, thoughts represent world. Whatever you pay attention to, you will get it. So what should you pay attention? Consciousness. Thoughts are there. What you have to do is you have to witness the thoughts. Don't get identified with the thoughts. Don't get carried away by the thoughts. Don't show interest in the thoughts. That is called as drishya varitam chittam. Attention should be upon consciousness. If you start showing interest in the thoughts, thoughts will multiply. That is called as wandering mind. This is one of the problem of meditation. It's called as vikshepa. If you show interest in the thoughts, when do you show interest in the thoughts? Through your likes and dislikes. You will carry away. So, necessary condition for meditation is, to a great extent, mind should be free from likes and dislikes. Such a mind is called a pure mind. Turn your attention to consciousness. Chitta darshanam itself is tattva darshanam. This abidance in consciousness itself is the vision of reality. That is tattva. When you witness mind, what happens? Manasam tukim margane krite naiva manasam. Wonder of wonders. The moment you start witnessing the thoughts disappear. So this is the law of meditation. When you identify with the thoughts multiply. When you witness the thoughts die. This is the law. How do you witness the thought? By remaining rooted in consciousness. When you show interest in consciousness, thought starts dying. When you show interest in thought starts multiplying. It starts gathering momentum. This is the law. So when you witness the thought starts dying now. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. When all the thoughts are dead, mind is no more existent. Mind goes away. Mind goes away means what? World also goes away. Because world is nothing but projection of the mind. What is world? Nothing but a projection of the mind. Can you experience the world without mind? This is how we prove. Does mind depend on the world or world depends on the mind? World depends on the mind. Because when the mind is, world is. When the mind is not, world is not. In deep sleep, mind is not there. World also is not there. This is called as Anvaya Vyatireka method. Anvaya, when the mind is, okay, world is. Vyatireka, when the mind is not, world is not. Therefore, world depends on the mind for its existence. Manasam tukim margane krite naiva manasam. Mind disappears. Bhagavan, will you please give us more clarity with regard to this? But this appears to be a little difficult. So, a tip is given to do this meditation. Vrittayah tu aham vrittim ashritaha vrittayah manaha vidhi aham manaha. So 3 statements are made. Number 1, vrittayah manaha. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. Statement number 1. Statement number 2, vrittayah tu aham vrittim ashritaha. All thoughts in the mind depend on aham vritti. So thoughts can be divided into 2, idam vritti and aham vritti. This thought and I thought. So what is aham vritti? Any self-defining thought is called aham vritti. The notion that which we carry about ourselves, that is called as aham vritti. Vritti means thought. I am long, I am short, fat, thin, whatever, all the notions, that is with respect to the body. I am an emotional person, that is with respect to mind. I am an intellectual person, that is with respect to intellect. So all those notions that we carry about ourselves is called as aham vritti. Now what is the statement made here? All the idam vritti, idam means this. All the thoughts in the mind, they depend on aham vritti. So therefore, what is the point? The point is, if you want to destroy all the thoughts, destroy this aham vritti. Now what is Bhagavan saying? Vidhi aham manaha. This aham vritti is not aham, it is not me, it is also nothing but a bundle of wrong notions. Aham vritti is not aham, it is a bundle of thoughts. Now with regard to thoughts, what is the law? If you can witness this thought will die. And it can be witnessed. Only an object can be witnessed, subject cannot be witnessed. This is the law. Subject cannot be objectified. Observer cannot become the object of observation. You can abide in the observer, you cannot observe the observer as an object. This is a law. So therefore, we are all this I, we are all using. Bhagavan is saying this is not the real I. Why it is not the real I? It is not the real I because it can be objectified. Anything which is seen as an object is not me. This is the law. What is the definition of I? That which can never be separated from me, never be seen different from me is called I. Now what about this ahamvriti? You are able to see it as an object. Remember, only in a pure mind this can be done. In a pure mind you clearly see two entities, aham and ahamvriti. What is aham? Pure consciousness is aham. What is ahamvriti? The bundle of notion which I carry about myself is called ahamvriti. So, what is Bhagavan saying? Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah aipadatyaham. At the seat of meditation, if you are witnessing idam vritti with aham vritti, idam vritti will disappear, aham vritti will remain. That is only superficial meditation. The ego will remain, all the other thoughts at the most get suppressed. But here the highest meditation is told. What is the highest meditation? Remain in aham and witness aham vritti. Then what will happen? Aham vritti will die. When aham vritti dies, what happens to idam vritti? It has to die because idam vritti is dependent on aham vritti. This is what has to be done. Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah. When you inquire into what is this aham vritti, so the first question is, you get worldly thoughts. To whom are these thoughts coming? And you say, it is coming to me. So from idam vritti you come to aham vritti. The next question to be asked is, who am I? Then from aham vritti you come to aham. Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah. This way when you inquire, aripatatyaham, this aham vritti falls. Nija vicharanam, this is the real self-inquiry. Ahaminasha bhaji aham ahamtaya spurati hrit swayam paramapurna sat. The moment aham vritti dies, in its place the real aham shines forth. And what is the nature of that aham? Paramapurna sat, infinite, immortal, perfect, full, which lacks nothing. That supreme self shines forth. This is called a self-inquiry. In detail we discussed this for 3 days. So therefore I move forward. This is the essence of what we have discussed. Now at the seat of meditation, what has to be done? Verse number 22. Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha nahamekasattajjadam hyasa. Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha nahamekasattajjadam hyasa. three layers in us. What is idam vritti, aham vritti, and then aham. Now, what is the difference between aham and aham vritti? So Bhagavan says here, idamaham padabhikyamandvaham ahamilinakeyapi alaya sattaya. Every night when we go to sleep, what happens to aham vritti? Goes away. So aham vritti comes, goes. Comes when we wake up, aham vritti comes. When we go to sleep, aham vritti goes. Again comes, goes. What about aham? The pure consciousness, always there. Aham is not dependent on the state of mind. Aham vritti is nothing but a bundle of thought. Thoughts come when the mind comes. Thoughts go when the mind goes. So aham vritti, since it's a bundle of thought, when we go to deep sleep, aham vritti goes away. What about aham? Aham has nothing to do with thoughts. So therefore it is all right there. Exactly like the screen in the movie. Before the movie, screen is there. During the movie, screen is there. After the movie also, screen remains. Because screen has nothing to do with the movie. In the same way, pure consciousness, whether the mind is in deep sleep, dream or waking state, pure consciousness has nothing to do with it. Another example is a wave. Before the wave, water is there. During the wave also, water continues. Once the wave goes, water remains. Because water has nothing to do with the wave. Thoughts are also like waves. Consciousness is like water. That is the essence. So this is the difference. Whatever you identify with, you will experience that. This is the law. Now we have a choice, either to identify with aham vritti or identify with aham. What is the nature of aham vritti? Limited, finite, perishable, miserable. That is aham vritti. You identify with aham vritti, you become a samsari. Going through all the ups and downs of life, miseries of life. The moment you turn your attention to consciousness, which is aham, you come to know that in you there is an infinite presence which has nothing to do with your body, which has nothing to do with your moods. It is just present. The more and more you turn your attention to that presence, the more and more you feel the presence. The question is paying attention. Make it a habit to pay attention to this consciousness. Then you start experiencing the property of consciousness. What are the properties of consciousness? Satchit Anand. That is why in spirituality we use the term self-ignorance. What do you mean by self-ignorance? Ignoring the self. You are not paying attention. What is the opposite of ignoring? Paying attention. We are suffering because we are not paying attention to the reality. That's all. It's a matter of choice. What are you doing in your life? Are you paying attention or are you ignoring it? If you ignore it, you will not get the benefit of it. If you pay attention to it, get connected to it, you will get the benefit. It's a matter of choice. Exactly like the Wi-Fi. If you ignore Wi-Fi, you will not get the benefit. See, Wi-Fi is not going to lose anything because you are not connected. You will lose. Correct? Choice is there, either to connect to Wi-Fi or not connect to Wi-Fi. In the same way, turn towards the self or ignore the self. I don't believe in God. Fine, you are the loser. You will not experience God. God is nothing but the self. towards it and get the benefit. Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses the example of, in winter, there is a fireplace. And here is a person who is shivering. What he should do? He should go near the fire and make use of the warmth of the fire. So two people, one person goes, make use of the warmth. Another person says, no. Okay, fine, suffer. Suffer the winter. Fire is there, giving warmth to everybody. It is our choice. In the same way, the self is shining in the heart of everyone as aham. Aham, aham taya spurati hrit swayam. And when you abide in consciousness, this great truth is revealed to you. What is the truth? Vigraha indriya prana dhi tamaha na aham. Vigraham. What is vigraha? Physical body. Vigraha indriya, sense organs. Prana, breath. Dhi, buddhi, intellect. Tamaha, ignorance. I am not. Then who am I? Ekasat. That one existence I am. That consciousness I am. Then what about others? That jadam. It's inert. Asat. From the highest standpoint, it has no existence also. The only thing which is existing is this consciousness. So in the language of knowledge, we say, turn towards consciousness. In the language of devotion, what do we say? Turn towards God. Both are one and the same. Language is different. One is the language of the heart, the other is the language of the head, intellect. Both are same. Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha naham ekasa tat jadam yasat. So whole of spirituality is turned towards the divine in you, which is always there. Don't ignore it. If you ignore, you will suffer. Suffering is your choice. You choose to suffer. You can't blame God for that. God, because of you, I'm sorry. I am always there with you. You ignored me. Self-ignorance. That's why the term is ignorance. You ignore, therefore you suffer. So therefore what should we do? Stop ignoring. Means what? Start paying attention. You get it. Simple. Mayeva mana adhatsva mayuddhim niveshe nivasishyasi mayeva adhavurdham tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanasmarayudhya mayyarpita manobuddhihi mamayiveshyasi asamshaya. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of Vedas, Upanishads. Turn your attention to the divine. Now, Bhagavan takes up some questions which generally come in the minds of the seekers. One question is this. Bhagavan, you said consciousness is ultimate reality. Now, how do you know that there is no another consciousness observing this consciousness? How do you know? Suppose, for example, this is conscious number 1. How do you know there is no conscious 2 which is observing consciousness 1? Now, if you say 2 is there, okay, then there can be 3 also. Who is observing 2 and 1? These are all the possible questions which arise in the minds of seekers. So that is answered in the next verse. Sattvabhasika chitkva vetara sattaya hi chet chittaya hyaham. Sattvabhasika chitkva vetara Sattaya hi chet chittaya hyaham.
Sattaya hi chet chittaya hyaham.
Sattvabhasika chitvava itara. Is there another consciousness which is different from this consciousness? The answer is no. Whenever such question is answered, answer is no. Okay. Now, let us assume, okay, for argument's sake, there is consciousness 2 which is witnessing consciousness 1. What is the problem? Now, there is a law in Vedanta. Yad drishyam tat jadam is a law. Whatever is seen is jadam, is inert. So, opposite of consciousness is inert. Consciousness, inert. Sentiency, inertness. They are opposite. So, what is the law in Vedanta? Yad drishyam tat jadam. Whatever is seen has to be insentient. So now, if consciousness 1 is seen by consciousness 2, what will be the nature of consciousness 1? Inert. Now you are seeing consciousness, now you are seeing inert, both cannot be. So therefore, there cannot be 2 consciousness where one is observing the other. Did you understand the logic? If consciousness 1 is observed by consciousness 2, according to the law, the observed entity has to be inert. Therefore, consciousness 1 has to be inert. If consciousness 1 is inert, it is no more consciousness. That is the law. So therefore, consciousness can be only 1. Next question. What is the next question? Bhagavan, you are saying it is Sat Chit Anand. Is Sat different from Chit and Chit different from Anand? This question also can come. Or they are all together. For example, a flower, it is colorful, it is fragrant. So fragrance and color, are they separate or same? Different. What is the proof? It is possible that the flower may lose its color, but it is still fragrant. Or it is also possible, color is there, but fragrance is gone. So therefore, these are the 2 different properties of flower. In the same way, Sat, Chit, Anand, are they different? Bhagavan says no. Sattaya hi chit. Sat is chit, chit is aham. So Sat equal to chit equal to Anand equal to I. Now let us think in a different way. Let us assume that no, Sat is not chit. Okay, this is how you have to think. Now see, it is all aham, okay? So now make this statement. I am aware of my non-existence. Is it possible? Hey Baba, you are aware itself shows that you are existent, isn't it? Can you be aware of your non-existence? If you are not existing, how can you be aware? You see that contradiction? Sat plus Asat plus Chit, impossible. Now the reverse. Sat plus Achit. I am not aware of my existence. Not possible. I am existing, but I am not aware. Not possible. They always go together. So I equal to existence, equal to awareness, equal to bliss. So therefore they are not three different properties. That's the whole point. They always exist together. Unlike the fragrance and color of a flower. These are all the questions of seekers which is addressed. Now, okay, next question is taken up. What is the next question? Bhagavan, various philosophers, they talk about various philosophies. Advaita philosophy, Dvaita philosophy, Vishishta Advaita, and these masters are fighting with each other saying, my philosophy alone is right. What is your opinion? Many times we get confused when masters differ in their opinion about reality. That topic is beautifully handled here. Let us chant verse number 24 and 25. Isha jivayor veshadhibhida Satsvabhavato vastu kevalam Veshahanata swatmadarshanam Ishadarshanam swatmarupatah. Yes. Isha jivayoho veshadhi vida. What is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva? So this is the what you call point of contention. So Dvaita philosophy says no, Ishvara and Jiva, they are two different things. Dvaita, two different things. They are not one. What does the Vishishta Dvaita say? Jiva is a part of Ishvara. They are not two separate entity. Jiva is a part of Ishvara. Amsha, Amshi Sambandha is there. Whole and part. That is Vishishta Advaita. What does Advaita say? Nothing doing. Jiva is Ishvara. Advaita. Now the question is, layman is confused. These are all masters, Avatara Purushas. Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya and Shankaracharya. What to do now? So then Bhagavan says, no, they are all same. How can they be same? You see, first let us take an example. Wave and ocean. What is the relationship? Is wave equal to ocean? What is your answer? Our answer is it depends on standpoint. With respect to size and shape, wave is not ocean. Correct? But, so that becomes Dvaita. Wave not equal to ocean. Second statement, no, wave is a part of ocean. That is also right. That becomes Vishishta Advaita. No, essence of wave and essence of ocean, both are one. What is that essence? Water. That becomes Advaita. So all the three statements are right or wrong? All of them are right from their own standpoint. This is how we have to analyze. All of them are right. The question is from which standpoint? So each master is telling something from their standpoint. Understand that standpoint and then you will find that yes, that is acceptable. So there is no contradiction at all. A simpler example. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west, right or wrong? I don't know, sir. I don't get up early. I get up at 12 o'clock, sir. So if I say sun rises in the east and sets in the west, is it right or wrong? From the standpoint of earth, it is right. This is what we see. But from the standpoint of sun, you ask sun, it is said that you rise in the east and set in the west. Do you do that? What will sun say? What rising, what setting? Two standpoints. Both are right. So if you say sun rises from the east, that is also right. With respect to earth, it is right. Sun never sets nor rises, that is also right. Two contradictory statements can be right from different standpoints. This is the way we have to understand. So masters are not wrong. You have to understand the standpoint. That's all. So, now what is Bhagavan saying? Isha jivayoho veshadhi vida. Vida, there is a difference between Isha jivayoho, Isha and Jiva. When your attention is upon Vesham. Vesham means what? Costume. When your attention is upon the costume, the form, the size, definitely there is difference. Jiva is Alpajna, Alpashaktiman, Alpavyapi. Ishvara is Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi. Mayapati, whereas Jiva is Maya Dasa. He is a slave of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsarya. Bhagavan is a master. Can't compare. So when we say Aham Brahmasmi, don't think that this Jiva is in its imperfectness Brahman. Nothing. Isha Jivayoho Veshadhi Vida Sat Swabhavatah Vastu Kevalam. But when you go to the essence, what is the essence of Jivatma? Consciousness. What is the essence of Paramatma? Consciousness. Veshahanatah Swatmadarsanam. Don't pay attention to Vesham. Give up the form. Pay attention to the essence. What is ocean? Ocean equal to form plus water. What is wave? Form plus water. Veshahanata, give up the form. See the essence. Ocean equal to water. Wave also equal to water. Essence. What is Jivatma? Consciousness plus BMI. Body, mind, intellect. What is Paramatma? Consciousness plus totality. Samashti BMI. Give up the costume. Essence, consciousness. So therefore there is no difference. Sat Swabhavato Vastu Kevalam. There is only one. So when I say Aham Brahmasmi, the essence in me is Brahman. This is me. So therefore, Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, they are all one and the same. No difference. So there's a beautiful question asked by Bhagavan Ramchandra Ji to Hanuman. Hanuman, what do you think of me? There's a beautiful verse. Deha buddhya tu dasoham jiva buddhya tvadam shakah atma buddhya tvamevaham iti me nischalamati. This is my firm conviction, Bhagavan. Deha buddhya tu dasoham. At the level of body, I am your servant. Jiva buddhya tvadam shakah. As a jiva, I am a part of you. Atma buddhya tvamevaham. As a self, I am you, you are me. There is no difference. Iti me nischalamati. This is my firm conviction. So this summarizes the essence of this discussion. takes up another topic. What is vision of God? Because here also a lot of confusions are. Swamiji, I had a vision of God. What did he do? He came in front of me. And then he went away. So now different people are having different visions. One is having Krishna vision, another is having Shiva vision. Now people are confused. Which vision has to be trusted? So Bhagavan says, Veshahanatah Swatma Darshanam Isha Darshanam Swatma Rupatah. Isha Darshanam. Bhagavan's vision is nothing but vision of the self. But then what about the vision that which all great devotees have? That is a projection of a pure mind. We don't say that is false or anything. When the mind is given divine samskaras, that divine mind will project according to the habits created in it. If you are a worshipper of Vishnu, it is possible that mind will project a Vishnu form. Possible. If you are a Jesus devotee, Jesus will come in your dream. Whatever you have trained, that will come. A Vishnu devotee will not see Jesus. A Jesus devotee will not see Vishnu. What samskaras you are given, accordingly mind will behave. But what is the reality? Any projection is false. Because any projection is based on the mind. Mind itself is an illusion. So projection of an illusory entity also has to be illusion alone. So then if you have to have Isha Darshan, that is why in all the Puranas you will find a devotee prays and Bhagavan comes. Blesses and goes away. Why should you go away? If you are truly real, what comes and goes cannot be absolutely real. What is the proof of reality? Avadhyatvam satyatvam. That which cannot be negated and that which is ever there. Tri kaleshu, tri avasthasu, yat tishtati tat sat. In all the three periods of time, in all the states of the mind, what remains is truth. That which comes and goes cannot be called as absolute truth. No. There's a definition for reality also. So if this is the definition of reality, there is only one entity which fulfills this definition. What is that? Consciousness, the self. So Isha Darshanam Swa Atma Rupatah. If you want to have the vision of God, that has to be as consciousness only. What is that consciousness? Now another question. Bhagavan, what do you mean vision of self? Because whenever we talk of vision, it is always an object in front and I am looking at it. Does the same thing happen here? Listen. Atma Samsthiti. Did we chant this? 36?
No.
Atma Samsthiti Swat. Okay, let me break it. Atma Samsthiti Swatma Darshanam.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma Nirdvayad Atma Nishtata. Atma Samsthiti Swatma Darshanam.
Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam.
Atma Nirdvayad Atma Nishtata.
Atma nirdvayad atma nishtata.
Yes. what is Atma Darshanam? Vision of self. Bhagavan says, Atma Samsthitihi Atma Darshanam. Abidance in the self is vision of the self. Can you have the vision of the self as an object? You are looking at your own self as an object. Is it possible? It is not possible because observer cannot be observed as an object. No. Subject cannot be objectified. Seer cannot become the seen as an object. So then, what do you mean by vision of self? Vision of self has to be abidance in the self. Being the self is seeing the self. Being the self, so that is a state of being. State of seeing is not state of looking, it is a state of being. And that state of being itself is vision of God also. Vision of God equal to vision of self, equal to abidance in the self. Because Atma Nirdvayat, Atma is not two. One Atma looking at another Atma. Not possible. Atma Nirdvayat. So therefore Atma Nishtha itself is Atma Darshanam. Abidance in the self is the vision of the self. Okay, Bhagavan, I have another question. What is that? What do you mean by knowledge of the self? Is it same as knowledge of physics, chemistry, maths, etc.? Okay, please. How this knowledge is different? Jnanavarjita ajnanahina chet. Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. Jnanavarjita ajnanahina chet. Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. Yes, this knowledge is a unique knowledge, self-knowledge. It is not like other knowledge. So, what is this knowledge then? Jnana varjita ajnana hina. It is neither knowledge nor ignorance. It is neither jnana nor ajnana. What do you mean? You see, any knowledge of this world is thought-based knowledge. Thought-based knowledge. I know this, meaning there is a thought associated with that object. I don't know this means there is no thought associated with that object. Yes or no? I know English, I don't know Chinese. It is all thought-based. But what about knowledge of awareness? Is it thought-based? Do you need thought to experience awareness? Now this is a little technical question, because many times consciousness or awareness, people use medical terminology in Vedanta. That will go wrong. In medical terminology, consciousness is a part of the mind. Whereas in Vedanta, consciousness is independent. It has nothing to do with mind. Please understand, there's a big difference. So therefore, in medical terminology, we will say, he has lost consciousness, he gained consciousness. It is nothing but mind which they are talking of. When the mind is available, they say, he has consciousness. When the mind is gone, they will say, he lost consciousness. So therefore, what is it implied? Consciousness is a property of the mind. Vedanta don't agree with it. When in Vedanta, when we use the term consciousness, it is an independent entity. It has nothing to do with the mind. In fact, mind borrows the property of consciousness and projects as though it is its property. Just like the mirror borrows the light from the sun and reflects the sunlight as though sunlight belongs to the mirror. It is a borrowed property. In the same way, consciousness in the mind is a borrowed property. Whose property is it in original? Consciousness. Mind borrows sentiency from consciousness and appears sentient. Body borrows sentiency from consciousness and appears sentient, alive. Sense organs borrows property from consciousness. So consciousness or awareness, it is not borrowed. The awareness in consciousness is not a borrowed property, it is its nature. So therefore, knowing is the nature of consciousness. And therefore, knowing in consciousness is effortless, spontaneous, instrument-free, defect-free, absolute knowing. That is the knowing of consciousness. So when consciousness is knowing, is it getting tired? No, because it is its nature. Just like mirror, when it is reflecting, it doesn't get tired. Because reflecting is its nature. Fire, when it is giving heat, it doesn't get tired. Mind, when it is knowing, does it get tired? Of course, yes. If I continue this class for 3 hours, mind gets tired. Why is it getting tired? Effort is involved. Why effort is involved? It's a borrowed property. So thought-based knowledge, mind's knowledge is always thought-based knowledge. Whereas consciousness knowledge is absolute knowledge. It doesn't need a mind to know. So knowing consciousness, does it come under knowledge or ignorance? It cannot be called, in the realm of worldly knowledge, it cannot be called knowledge. Knowing is its nature. So there is neither thought-based knowledge nor thought-based ignorance. Jnana varjita ajnana hina chitta. Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. After knowing this, what else is there to be known? Brahma Vidya is called as Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. That with which everything else is known is called Brahma Vidya. Consciousness is that. So knowing of consciousness is very different from knowing some subject. That's why the unique thing about this consciousness is the one who knows consciousness becomes consciousness. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati. Unlike other fields, knower of mathematics will not become mathematics. But knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Knower of consciousness becomes consciousness, because that is the only way to know consciousness. It is not a thought-based knowledge. It is a state of being. That is how self-knowledge is different from other branches of knowledge. Knowing the waker is becoming the waker. If the dreamer has to know the waker, what is the way? Dreamer should become the waker. That is the way. Bhagavan, what is the benefit of this knowledge? Listen. Kim swarupame tyatmadarshane.
Kim swarupame tyatmadarshane.
Avyaya bhava purnachit sukham.
Avyaya bhava purnachit sukham.
Bandha muktyatītam विन्दतीह जीवस्तु दैविकः
विन्दतीह जीवस्तु दैविकः.
Yes, Atma-darshanam, vision of the self. Kim Swarupa, what is his nature? What is the prayojana? What do we use? Bliss is the nature of knowing the self. What kind of bliss? Avyaya, abhava, apurna, sukham. That is why this is very important. Self-knowledge is very important because it will give you bliss, happiness. What kind of happiness? Avyaya, imperishable. Abhava, unborn. Apurna, completely fulfilling. After which you will have desire for nothing else. And this sukham is your true nature. This is the result of self-knowledge. And therefore, is it mandatory or optional if you really want to be happy? There is no choice. No choice is given. You have to know it if you want to be really happy, peaceful, content, fulfilled. There is no other way. Bandhamuktyadidam param sukham. It is supreme bliss. And when you experience this bliss, you come to know that this bliss is beyond bandha and mukti. You come to know that I was never bound. It is only an imagination that I was bound. Bondage is only a notion in the mind. We are never bound. Of course, while talking of sadhana, we talk of bondage and all that. You are bound by birth, death, cycle and all. But once you are liberated, you come to know, oh, I was ever liberated only. Bondage was only a notion in the mind. Exactly like when you wake up, you come to know, even when I was dreaming, I was free. In the dream, you saw that you are in the prison. So when you wake up, what do you say? Even in the dream also, I was not in the prison. I was in my bedroom only. Bandhamuktyatitam param sukham vindatiha jivaha tu daivikaha. Who gains this knowledge? Daivikaha jivaha vindati. Not everybody. Qualification is good. Daivikaha means divine. Somebody who has lived a divine life alone deserves this knowledge, gets this knowledge. So that is why we have to live a life cultivating Daivi Sampat, divine virtues. Why should we be good in this world? Only a good person is qualified to gain this knowledge. Virtuous person alone is qualified to gain this knowledge. Therefore, you should become virtuous. Of course, other benefits are there, but this is the greatest benefit. Through virtues, you purify the mind. Through a pure mind, you gain this knowledge. With this knowledge, you are liberated. Now comes the parting message of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, the last one. Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam.
Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam.
Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam.
Yes, Bhagavan, how to become a divine person? Daivikaha jivaha. How to purify the mind? Do this one. This is the greatest tapas. Mahad idam tapaha. Ramanavagyam, this is my experience. This is my word. And it is absolutely true. This is the greatest tapas to be done, greatest austerity. What is it? Aham apetakam nija vibhanakam. That tapas where the ego falls. Aham apetakam. Whatever sadhana you are doing where the ego is effaced, minimized, punctured, and at the same time allowing the divine to shine forth. Nijabhidhanaka Mahatapara. This is the greatest tapas. So while living in this world, let us pay attention to this. When I am doing something, transacting in the world, am I boosting my ego or puncturing my ego? Question number one. Am I becoming an instrument of Lord or am I ignoring God? Question number two. Two things have to be done. Number one, step aside. Number two, allow the God to take control. If these two things are done, it's the greatest tapas. Bhagwan, thy will be done. Strict obedience. What is obedience to God? Doing what He likes, not what I like. That is surrender, Sara. If this is done, it's the greatest tapas. With this, the text goes over. I've taken 4 minutes extra, okay? I sincerely invoke the grace of the Lord, the blessings of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi and Puja Gurudev. May we all do this tapas and may we attain that supreme state of bliss. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyat Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om